And now our TEA disclaimer. The information that is presented in today's session is based on the work of Round Rock ISD. LEAs may use the information gained during this presentation as they see fit to build their own PFE program based on the need of their school community. The purpose of the presentation is to provide strategies for LEAs to consider. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed in the presentation belong solely to the presenters and are not necessarily those of the Texas Education Agency. TEA does not endorse any of the resources and/or products referenced in the presentation. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present to you our presenters for the first session this morning from Round Rock ISD, Sibyl Lee and Ann Grishop, and they are going to be walking you through all of the great resources that they share with their parents, with their students, to build that family efficacy and technology in Round Rock ISD. So everybody help me welcome Ann and Sibyl to today's presentation.
Good morning. Thank you, Matthew. We're honored to be here today, this morning, bright and early, to share with the whole state of Texas the great things that we do here at Round Rock ISD. My name is Sibyl Lee, and I am the Title I coordinator here at Round Rock. If you don't know where Round Rock is, we're just a little bit north of Austin, the great state of our capital. And so we serve, our district is not huge, but it's not small either. So I'm going to let Ann introduce herself before we jump in further.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Sibyl. My name is Ann Grishop. This is my third year on the parent team here within the state and federal department at the Round Rock ISD. Before I did that, I was a middle school science teacher. So I've been in the field of education for a long time. And I'm really excited to be here.
Thank you, Ann. So this morning, like I said, we are going to share with you about Round Rock parent programs, and you'll hear a little bit of an overview of our program, and then we're going to go into further detail about some of the things that we do as a program to help families build their capacity, and specifically using technology. I'm going to go ahead and share screen so that we have our presentation up. Okay. Do you guys see my presentation?
It's a black screen right now, Sibyl.
Oh dear. Let's see.
Go ahead and stop share and see. It may have selected the wrong screen that you were intending to share.
Let me try that again. Apologize for the technical difficulty as we talk about technology today.
It's a great opportunity to see what our kiddos go through. Though.
Absolutely. Okay.
There we go.
Is it there? Awesome.
Thank you, Sibyl.
Thank you for your patience. So I know that I'm sitting in a Zoom room full of family advocates this morning, and you are in knee deep, maybe even neck deep, in the work of family engagement and connecting with families. And so we're here partnering with you in this great state of Texas. We are by no means experts. We're here to share what we've learned, what we do here at Round Rock. And hopefully by the end of today, you're going to walk away with some practical ideas and things that you may want to do at your district, at your school. And so that's our hope, that we can share with you our passion and how we do things here at Round Rock. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump in to our agenda. So today, at the end of this hour and a half, our hope is that you'll gain a little bit of an overview of what Title I Parent Programs is here at Round Rock ISD. And then also what is Family Connections. That's what we've branded our, how we reach our families. And then specifics about how to build family capacity via the use of technology. My role as a coordinator, I support a team of 8 parent liaisons who serve on Title I campuses. Here at Round Rock ISD, we have 56 schools. We have 5 comprehensive high schools. We have a little bit over 48,000 students, but our parent liaisons are specifically on Title I campuses. We do have 16 Title I campuses, 13 of those are elementary schools, and 3 of those are middle schools. And so this program is funded federal funded through Title I, Part A, through the ESSA, Every Student Succeeds Act. And so specifically aimed at closing the student achievement gap. Let me just start by telling you a little bit of our journey of our program. Some years ago, it was before my time, there was a need for, they called it a parent support specialist. It was a 5-hour paraprofessional position, and it was on every campus. And at that point, they were doing all sorts of stuff, whatever the school needed for an office, cafeteria duty, teacher, you name it, they were doing it. Everybody was doing something different. And that was actually funded by a grant. And when that grant went away, those positions went away. However, on the Title I campuses, the principals saw a need. We actually need somebody to work with families. And so those positions kept on. It was a 9-hour paraprofessional position. It slowly moved to a 12-hour. Can you imagine 9 hours a week? What can you do? 12 hours. I actually started when it was a 12-hour position, paraprofessional, and slowly they saw the need was there. The need was greater and greater. And then eventually it moved to a 28-hour position on 2 campuses. And that's how it moved from a campus-based to a district-based. And then eventually today, through a redesign, we are now we have 8 full-time professional exempt staff, parent liaisons that serve on our Title I campuses. And it is a district-based, and it's a team that's very strong in collaboration. They meet multiple times. We meet weekly as a team, but they are collaborating with each other, with the campus staff, with district. And so it is a very strong collaborative team, and we have lots of opportunities to plan with each other and provide continuity of service. The team does receive professional development. We have consultants come in, they receive professional development, they receive coaching and whatnot, similar to what teachers receive. So all focused on family engagement. Of course, we attend conferences like the ones that, the statewide initiative puts on. So, and then through multiple reiterations of thinking about how to make the program better. And today we are in the 4th year of this redesign, and this is and it continues to mold, and the team grows. We were talking about it just yesterday. Last year, having gone through, a full year of a lot of people working from home and trying to connect with families, nobody was allowed on campuses. We did some amazing things that we never thought we would. And at the end of last year, we were like, what else could we do? I mean, it seems like it's so amazing. And then this year we look at it and it's like, wow, look at what we're doing now. It's even better. And so I think there are definitely silver linings through the pandemic and having to go virtual and thinking outside of the box. Some of the things we never thought of how to use technology, we've done it, and it's being used as a part of our practice now. So I'm going to move on to the next slide. Our parent programs. This slide just shows you how we're funded. Title I, Part A, like I said, is federal funds that supplement state and local education programs to ensure that all students, all children succeed. And as a part of that, 1% of the title funds are dedicated solely to parent and family engagement. And that's so important because we cannot work with students without the parents' involvement. And like I said, you guys are family advocates, and you know that very well. I'm going to show you a video, and this is something that we designed and developed a couple of years ago in actually like the second year of our redesign. And we use this video to tell people about Title I, and also, you know, in our annual Title I importance of family engagement training with families and also with staff. So I'm going to go ahead and play the video for you.
Family engagement, working together for student success. That's the mission of the Round Rock ISD Parent Program. We believe family engagement is a shared responsibility. Families, schools, and communities join for student learning and achievement. We engage families by partnering with them to create positive homeschool connections. Title I federal money is supplemental and used to narrow the achievement gap. Schools qualify by the percentage of students receiving free and reduced lunch. The Every Student Succeeds Act requires 1% of the money goes to parenting, and that's why we have the parent liaisons on the Title I school campuses. Our job is to foster positive home partnerships with teachers and staff and families. More than ever, families are our partners. We need to work with them so that our students, their children, are successful.
A link between the home and the school. Like, how do we help parents understand the school, understand what's going on in the school, to be partners with the school, to strengthen those relationships?
A parent can be fully engaged in their child's education without ever stepping onto a school campus. Engagement goes beyond being involved in attending campus events or joining the PTA. It's a connection, a relationship, a bridge, a window into the classroom. This is what leads to student success.
We're trying to show parents what kids are doing in their classroom and how they can support their kids' learning at home. It's more purposeful, it's more intentful, and I think that direction we're going to see differences in students' academic success.
That success happens when educators implement family engagement as an instructional strategy. An example of how a teacher can foster this partnership may be to send a quick tip home about a lesson taught at school, something specific that starts a conversation. For families to be connected, it means asking relevant questions related to school. Rather than, how was your day? Ask your student to tell you about the book they're reading, or to demonstrate a math problem, or find out what the best part of their day was and why.
The focus is to help our parents help their children at home.
The parent team is here to offer opportunities to connect families to classrooms. With you, we look forward to connecting the home and school and working together for student success. Family engagement.
So that was a video that we developed to share the importance of family engagement. And the intent first was with staff, because you guys all know we have to do, or we get to do that part of compliance, right? To train our staff and teachers about the importance of family engagement. And then it's just, it became such a great tool that it's posted on our website, families watch it, and the community and whatnot get to learn about what family engagement is, and really that importance of the presence of this program. And so I also wanted to just remind everyone, we are here, having a conversation with you. So throughout our time this morning, if you have questions, comments, please do go ahead and put those in the chat box. And Ann and I, amongst the two of us, we're keeping an eye on it, all right? And we'll try to answer questions along the way. This slide shows our parent program's vision. Our statement is working together for student success. The video talked about how building relationship is so key to our work. Family engagement at Round Rock ISD, we believe it is the responsibility of families, schools and communities for student learning and achievement. We want to engage families by partnering with them to foster positive homeschool connections. And how do we do that? It's through intentional opportunities that are linked to learning that support student success. And that link to learning is the key to everything that we do. We bring things to families that give a little glimpse into the classroom. What is your student learning and how do you support that at home? So we work very closely with key folks in the district on campuses, such as an instructional coach, such as our teachers, our specialists, our technology specialists, our counselors, and whatnot. We want to know what we're bringing to families is aligned with the curriculum that the students are learning. And so our mission is really working together along with teachers and staff, and then also families working together for their student success. Because at the end of the day, why are we all here? It's for students to be successful. And that's our vision, working together for student success. This here is the dual capacity building framework for family school partnership. And our vision derived from this, really. The dual capacity building framework for family partnerships. It's important to lay a foundation, and that's one of the first. The first process condition is relational, build a mutual trust with families, with staff, with principals, with the teachers. Before we can do anything, that relationship the parent liaisons have with them is so key. Before, there's this cliche, people don't care about what you have to say until they know that you care. So that relationship is so key in our work. It's important to lay that strong relationship. We focus on building relationship and positive relationships by being aware of our stakeholders and our customers. Surveys, the data that we get back from our family surveys that the district put out, we base everything that we do. We look back, is that a need that the community is telling us, the families are telling us, that the data from test results are showing where are the gaps that we should be focusing in on. Our beginning of how this program, moved from a campus to district, and the vision was very forefront. As a parent liaison strive to work with families, we wanted to build that relationship with elementary to middle school and lay that continuity. Our program redesign originated, when our previous executive director, she attended the family engagement strand of professional development over summer PD at Harvard. And that was taught by Dr. Karen Mapp, and who is actually the founder. She came up with this framework in itself, and really that's how it began, a beautiful relationship, right? The beginning of a beautiful relationship, and onwards to our journey towards effective family engagement. Are there any questions at this point? I don't want to keep talking before. Okay, all right, thanks, Anne. Feel free to just let me know whenever there is. All right, so this slide will show you sort of like our structure, the building blocks to success for parent and family engagement. We have a professional team, incorporates myself, the Title I program coordinator. Of course, there's also a Title I director that I report with and work very closely with, and then 8 parent liaisons. We do have a partnership with Scholastic, the Family and Community Engagement. That's what FACE stands for. There is actually, if you're not familiar with Scholastic, a lot of people think about just book fairs, right? You think of Clifford the dog. There's actually a whole department in Scholastic. They focus on professional development, and there is a part specifically for family engagement. And actually, Dr. Karen Mapp is one of the key people in that department. And so we were just amazed when our director went to receive the training, learn about Dr. Karen Mapp, and then learned about Scholastic, and it was just a beautiful marriage. We now partner with them. They provide the professional training and ongoing coaching for our parent liaisons. We started out with individual coaching sessions every other month as needed. And then as the team grew, as each individual grew, and now this year we are in project coaching in that format. So it's just, the team continues to grow and to continue to be very strong in that area. How do we deliver? The middle box you'll find is our family connections, what we've branded it to be called family connections, because we want to connect with families. We deliver our content through a hybrid model, and that would have never happened if it wasn't for COVID. Thank you, COVID. I would never say that, but great things have come out of it, right? We are now so comfortable with using Zoom and meeting with families, and also vice versa. It's very easy for them to just log on and learn something without leaving the comfort of their home, juggling schedules, soccer practice, band practice, and then now I got to go and attend a session. No, you can attend it anywhere, just log in, right? So a hybrid model, both in-person and online sessions. Now, there are some things that work very well in person and we wouldn't do it over Zoom. For example, today I would love to see all 198 of y'all's beautiful faces in person, probably at Amarillo, right? That interaction piece I totally miss. I'm not able to see your beautiful faces, see the reactions y'all are getting, giving us. So don't get me wrong, I do miss the in-person. I can't wait to be able to see everyone in the near future. And continuing on, we have developed interactive websites, our guides to different things of the district. We've really found that how many times parents, we talk to families, right? I have this issue, or I'm struggling with this, and I go, we have that resource on the district website. Just go to the website and you'll find it. And, it's actually quite difficult sometimes if you're not familiar with a website to find the things. So we have found that for parent liaisons to be very familiar with just the wealth of resources our own district has, and sort of repackage it, put it in a way that's very family friendly. They can use it. They just go to that one location, and we're going to dive deeper into that. Anne's going to share about some of those interactive websites. And then we also have a parent guide. This year, actually started last year, a text campaign, and of course the YouTube channel. Who doesn't have a YouTube channel now, right? YouTube has made it so easy for us to share information and just great ideas. And the last thing listed there is the 3 engaging ideas, and that is our electronic newsletter that we put out every other month, and I'm going to show you an example of it. And we really came up with that over when we were all at home and virtual school was on. How are we going to engage with families in a quick and easy way that captures their attention? And the areas of content on the very right column there lists, as our parent liaisons are on elementary and middle school. It ranges from pre-K through 8th grade. That's our focus. And these are the topics of areas of focus of our content, from the early learners and literacy and math, writing skills, language learners, middle school, and then of course transitions, helping families transition from pre-K to kinder, from 5th to 6th grade into middle school, from 8th to 9th grade into high school. Okay. All right, and so with family connections, we're going to dive deep into family connections and what it is. They are simply linked to learning family engagement activities. It lists here some of the key things that we want to embed into everything that we provide for families, either in person or online. The goal is to equip and empower parents to provide them with learning tips and strategies. At the end of it, we want families to walk away with something that they can do with their children at home. We don't want them to teach the lesson that the teacher taught. No, by no means, they're not teachers, right? But to have something that's a strategy, a tip that they can do with their child. That's fun and engaging. And so many times parents are doing it, they don't even know it's connected to school. And so the team of parent liaisons are just so innovative and creative, and they've come up with lots of great ways. And we also want to leverage the parent strength. We want to recognize that parents have so much, a wealth of funds of knowledge that they bring to the table. That's why we want to be partners with them and draw from their knowledge and skills as well, and then nurture those and develop them and be partners throughout their children's education journey. Okay, the next slide is I'm going to show you is a snapshot of our latest 3 engaging ideas for family connections. This is our electronic family engagement newsletter. As you can see, it is both in English and in Spanish. We want to be cognizant of our families that do not, that are Spanish speaking. And then also the idea behind that came about with this newsletter was, how many of y'all are on Instagram? I know I can't see y'all's hands, but how many of y'all are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok? You know, it's quick. You got like 6 seconds to capture somebody's attention. So we wanted to provide something that was simple, easy to understand. And I believe each of those ideas, I think we capped it at about 75 words, which is, you know, similar to what Twitter or Instagram, you know, how many words can you put in a post, right? But just by reading that piece, families can walk away with a tip. Now, our hope also is to write it in a way that it whets their appetite. I want more about this topic. So each of those ideas actually has a link that'll take them to an expanded version, a more detailed article, another website, something that'll add to this initial idea. And so each of those ideas have those links, and therefore families, if they want, they can dive deeper, right? Get more information, get more ideas. And each of our newsletters have a theme. This one in January is on transitions. And at the top, you'll see there it lays the foundation of all the ideas in this newsletter. Transition is, you know, going from this to that, a beginning, trying something new, right? Everybody, every one of us goes through some kind of transitions. And during this time of year in January, really, many families are thinking about the new year. Oh, you're about to go to the next grade. You're about to go to start middle school. What are we gonna do? And so we found this time we're gonna focus on that. And so throughout the year, we have different focus, different content. We have like, for example, one's on literacy, social emotional learning, and that's a very key, it's a hot topic, right? And so we want to provide engaging ideas for families. And we have one for summer learning as well. And the content of our newsletters is a collaboration with multiple experts throughout the district. The social emotional, of course, we collaborated with our social emotional coordinator of the district and just found what is the latest thing. And we collaborate with counselors as well. So we're never a standalone kind of project. We always tap into what the students are learning and then bring that to the families. Okay, how's the chat box doing? And we're good? Perfect. All right, so moving on, the next 2 slides, you're gonna see example of our early learners family connection. And you see on there, the title we have highlighted in orange there is online family connection. So that gives parents an idea of knowing, oh, this one is an online session. It's not something that I go in person. This was on literacy, and the idea behind this one's read anything, anytime, anywhere. And families really took onto it because as we help them understand that reading can be done anywhere, literally anywhere, reading literally anything, road signs, from road signs to cereal boxes to like at the grocery store signage, you know, there's just print everywhere. And for them to recognize that, oh, by doing that, I'm helping my child is just, you know, a huge light bulb, and the conversations, and then equipping them and empower them to do that. That was a very successful session, and our team has done that in English and Spanish, and then multiple times throughout the year. And then the next one is similar, but along with conversations with math. Similar to the read aloud, this is about math talk. There's conversations about math that you can do with so many different things, and people don't even realize they're laying the foundation of numeracy in their children. So these were two for our early learners, focused for pre-K and kinder families. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and turn the time over to Anne. She's gonna give you a little bit more as we expand the grade further to the older students. Take it away, Anne.
Thank you, Sibyl. Such great information. And we just had a question in the chat box. Do folks have trouble with the QR codes? And I can honestly say, as the pandemic has progressed, no, everyone knows how to use them now. At the beginning, yes, there was a learning curve. But now we have found that it is a very successful way of getting people to register for things. Usually our QR code will take them to a Google form where they can sign up, and we can collect all the data that we need. And then we can, you know, send them the link and everything that they need to participate in whatever the project is. So thank you for that question. That was a good one. So I'm going to continue now with some of the technology that we're using. Again, Sibyl said it a few minutes ago, the pandemic has been awful. But wow, talk about some silver linings for us. It really has challenged and engaged us in thinking of new ways to reach families. And I feel like we have been even more successful than ever before, not just with attendance, but with true connections, because we connect technologically with them. And then that relationship is established so that when the school doors open again and they do come in onto campus, they know us, they're familiar with us. And so it's just taken everything up a couple levels as far as family engagement. So what you're looking at here is a very simple website built on a Google website platform. We call it Pros. And how it started. At the beginning of the pandemic, what do we do? How do we reach these families? Our team just peeled back all the layers and we studied STAR data. What do our families need? Where are their deficits in our district? And so we found that writing, fourth graders and seventh grade writing, fourth grade, even a little bit more than the seventh grade, there were some deficiencies there. And we thought, wow, let's do something in writing. So we sat down with the entire district curriculum team. It was pretty cool, sitting with all these bigwigs who put together all the curriculum. And our goal originally was to target fourth and seventh grade. And they pulled us back. They reined us in and said, no, that's too late. Let's start them earlier. Let's get them going in pre-K and kinder and first. And let's not stop at fourth grade. Let's, continue nurturing that fifth and sixth grade so that when they get to that STAR test, they're ready. And so the whole concept was born from that. We wanted to create evergreen material, meaning that it could be used, in October or next spring or 2 years from now. Another thing that partnering with the curriculum department helped us realize was not to replicate what's going on in the classroom. The TEKs are set up in such a way, as you all know, that there's specific things going on every week, every day, and not to replicate that. But instead, the curriculum department said, please help families fall in love with writing. Kids go home and they read every night before they go to bed, starting in hopefully pre-K. Well, write a little bit every day too. And that whole concept of writing anytime, any place, and that anything can be writing, whether it's making a grocery list, whether it's actually sitting down and journaling, it doesn't matter as long as the children are writing and we're nurturing a love for writing. And so we felt that was a really good way to connect with our families, get them to fall in love with writing. So we put together this website, and essentially there are 4 strategies, and I think Sibyl's going to kind of scroll through them. There are 4 strategies, and within each strategy, we built 2 or 3 videos, and the videos are short, they're zippy, they're easy to implement at home, things that people can do without having to go buy anything, without having to study anything, essentially getting them to help their kids fall in love with writing. And so the strategies are, yes, you can write, see the world as a writer, unlock the senses, and then make your writing flow. And so there's a couple videos within each one. And then there's also a tip sheet that people can print and hang up on the fridge, or they can, bookmark and put on their phone and just pop it up as a quick reminder. And so the way we've used this website is we've partnered with grade levels at several of our elementary campuses. And we've partnered it with some texting campaigns where we send out a strategy, send out a link to one of the videos, and then encourage the families to do it and text back maybe a picture of their child actually doing the activity or a little video. And so you're engaging them two ways. It's not just pushing out material. We're trying to see what they're doing. And then we share it with the class. We share it on a Flipgrid, which is a platform that you can just pop up all sorts of things and let everybody see what everybody's doing. We also have a Q&A section on the website where parents can ask us, hey, what about this? In fact, one of the questions last year was, should my child be writing every night? And so we turned to the curriculum department and we came up with an answer and did a little video for that. And so there's a little bit of back and forth there of connecting with the families. And the other thing that we've done is we've shared it with teachers. When we go into a certain elementary school and the third grade decides we're going to do this as a project, the teachers have been really, really excited because, like I said, the videos are zippy and fun and they're short. And so the teachers have been using it. So the kids are familiar with the videos. And then when we send the link home, the kids can say, hey, mom, dad, check this out. And so so it's been across the board, teachers, kids, and then of course, sending stuff home to the families. So part of the message with Pros, like I said, is that anybody can fall in love with writing. And that's the goal, that's the dream. But even if English isn't their first language. And so we have really worked hard to take a sheltered language approach to presenting this website. And this tip sheet is one of the tip sheets for one of the strategies. This is the Yes, You Can Write strategy. And instead of having a tip sheet with 13 bullet points that they have to read and follow, what we've tried to do using the sheltered language approach is to simplify it. We're using pictures. That way, whether you speak, Hindi or Spanish or English, you can see the pictures, you can relate to it, you can understand it, and your kids can understand it as well. So it just covers everything. The videos have a lot of demonstrations in them so that you don't need to speak English to actually understand them. We basically are keeping the messages simple and clear. And also on the website, we do, because we have a lot of Spanish speakers in our district, there is a button and all of the videos and the tip sheets are also in Spanish. So we are trying to cover every single student, every single family in our district. So really exciting. And what's, I think for me, been the most exciting thing about Pros is watching the teachers light up with excitement, because they're doing the day in, the day out, the grind, and then they've got this really fun thing that their kids can take home and do, and it hammers home the message, and the teachers really don't have to. It covers that for them, and they love it. So it's been really fun to develop this project and watch it come to life and watch our families benefit from it. So that's Pros, and that's a look at the Spanish page right there. So. So you want to show? Yeah, let's show a video. Let's watch one of the videos. They're about a minute long. So there you have it. That's one of the I think almost a dozen videos that are on that website. Again, a minute long, super simple, demonstrating the concept and the feedback that we've received from families. And you know, you get little pictures of kids holding up their little writer's notebooks and stuff. It's been really, really special and really successful, I think. Another technological approach that we use for reaching families is texting. Who doesn't text, right? We find that emails sometimes go out and they sit there. I mean, I know my inbox gets stuffed and it's hard to keep up with that, but boy, I respond to a text immediately. I mean, I've got my phone sitting right here next to me, right? And everybody's that way. So what we decided to do is to rely on a tool that the families are using. And this is a program that we do at one of our elementary schools, and there are a couple elementary schools in the Round Rock School District that are doing it. We are sending regular 3 times a week text messages to our families. And it's basically everything that they're receiving is a link to their learning. And I think what made it so successful initially was that even though, especially at the beginning of the school year, the kids were back in school, the school doors were still shut. Parents were not allowed on campus, and they were clamoring for a look at things that are going on in their kids' classroom, in the hallways, in the lunchroom. And so we have this 3 times a week texting campaign, and it allows them to have that window. But we also take the opportunity to, while they're looking through the window, we are giving them opportunities to connect to learning. And so we have covered topics, you name it, math, writing, social and emotional learning. We're doing a lot of Black History Month this month, library services. I've taken pictures in the cafeteria and shown how our lunch procedures work, because families don't get to see that. And so what you've got on your screen is an example of, we call it the Trail Guide. At Jolie Johnson Elementary, our mascot is the Trailblazer. And so we came up with Trail Guide. So that was kind of the reason behind that. And so the wonderful thing about it is we branded it as Trail Guide. We created that graphic with the compass and that font with the words Trail Guide. And so our families know that every time something comes out with that, they are able to connect to our campus. We've had positive response. It was one of those things at the beginning, you don't know, do you send them a text every day? Do you do once a week? We settled on 3 times a week, and I've only had, out of a campus of about 1,000 people, I think I've only had 2 people say too much, pull me off the list. But so that means we're reaching 998 other families through our text campaign. We are doing this through Remind, the Remind platform, and we use Title I funding to pay for the subscription. We bought the cool thing though, this is really neat too. We bought the subscription for the entire campus. It's not just Trail Guide. It took a little bit of work in the beginning, but we uploaded every family into Remind as opposed to having them opt in. We loaded them in and created classes. So pre-K through 5th grade, every single teacher has their own Remind class now. And we've watched their communication with families has increased so much, and it's so easy. They snap a picture of the class and they pop it onto Remind, and instant connection with moms and dads, and we've got grandparents on there, we've got aunts and uncles, foster parents are on our Remind list as well. And so the neat thing is that dual capacity framework, we were building the efficacy of our teachers as well as our connection with the families through this Trail Guide. And the teachers love it now, and I think it's going to be a regular thing at this particular campus. And the other thing is, in the past, before the pandemic, when we were kind of just doing on-campus, coffee chats and seminars and sessions, you had the regular parents who would always come, right? We are finding now that because we're reaching so many people using technology, we are more familiar on our campuses, and families are more comfortable reaching out to us. I might have received, maybe 2 or 3 questions or concerns or help me with this emails or even in-person questions a month before. And now I'm getting stuff almost on a daily basis. And people are saying, hey, there's the parent liaison, she can help guide me. And so we have found that to be very successful. So love the trail guide, love sending texts out 3 times a week. And another thing is, a lot of people ask me, isn't that a lot? And it really isn't, because I collaborate with folks on campus. So for Black History Month, I reached out to one of our assistant principals and said, what are some of the messages that you're sharing with the kids? And she responded to me, and I was able to very quickly create Monday, Wednesday, and Friday text messages within an hour. Same thing, I reached out to the instructional coaches for the math tips, and we did sight words with the instructional coach who does the itty bitties on campus. And so a lot of collaborating. And so I'm not having to reinvent the wheel coming up with topics for Trail Guide. It's as long as I email them a week or so out, the material is just vomited at me all the time. So it's been pretty successful. Are there any questions in there, Sibyl, at this point?
Let me unmute myself. So there was a question from, let's see, about earlier from Beatrice. She said, she asked, did parents participate right away when we started offering those sessions, online, I believe she's referring to. And so I'm going to jump in and refer back to, those relationships are so key. Parent liaisons had those relationships with their teachers, and the way that we promoted our sessions was through the teachers. The teachers are the ones that have the relationship with the families, with the parents, right? How many of us are parents, and when a teacher emails us about something, we're going to read that email. We're going to look at that text, right? But who's this parent liaison? I don't know about. So we really went through the teachers. So the parent liaisons having that relationship with the teacher was key. When a teacher referred something that we were offering as a parent programs, it spoke volumes to the parents. And so that was something that helped us a lot in getting parents to attend our sessions. Because it was, they weren't able to come to school. They weren't able to, see people. But when we said it's linked to learning, it's linked to what your child is learning at school. I think those two things, having the relationship, promoting through the teachers, and then also the content being tied to their students' learning, really drew parents in. So I would say we actually were pretty fortunate with good attendance throughout the pandemic. So I hope that answers your question.
And then we just had another question, and I answered it in the chat about how do people know to find any of these? Teacher communication is key, because they get an email from Ann Grishop, who's that? But a parent gets an email or a text from their teacher, they respond, they open that. And so we do rely on teachers a lot. But the cool thing is we promise them we're not throwing anything else on your plate, because we know they're so overwhelmed right now. We just need a little bit of help communicating this stuff. We will do everything else. And at my campuses, and actually I can speak on behalf of our entire team, the teachers have embraced that. They have come to recognize the importance of what we're doing, and how it helps them ultimately do their jobs. And so they just jump on board. It's really kind of fun. It's exciting. It's been exciting to watch those relationships grow and become really strong, and it's a real partnership. Okay, so at the elementary level, we text 3 times a week. Using texting for middle school, probably not as effective daily or 3 times a week. And so what we've done using texting for middle schools is we've created periodic focused texting campaigns. Last year, we sat down with the counselors and said, okay, we've got these 6th graders coming in. They haven't been on campus in a long time, and now they're not only coming back to campus, but they're coming to a brand new campus, and they're going to be answering to 8 different teachers, and life is crazy for them. What are some things that we can help their families help them with? And the resounding response from the counselors was organization. please help the sixth graders get organized. If they get organized, that will just launch success in academics and all the other good stuff that comes with it. So, okay, we could do that. So we put together a texting campaign. Like I said, it was short, it was 1 month, and we focused on sixth graders organization. And essentially, as you can see from the flyers that we sent out, how to use a planner, how to organize your backpack, how to easily take notes, how to manage your time. All things that sixth graders might not know intrinsically, and also having been home in a pandemic, probably really don't know how to do. As you can see, we did it in Spanish as well. So we were trying to reach all sorts of people. And so every week we were sending out text messages. Like I said, it was the month of October. We tried to do it right after the school year started, so everything was still fresh. And the text messages really were super simple. If you could go to the next slide, Sibyl. Very simple. The one on the left is an example of one of the text messages. Super simple, and almost every single one of them had a link attached, something that they could take a deeper dive on. Whether it was an article, whether it was an example, a sample of a list, how to do a morning routine. And we did a morning checklist that a parent could bookmark or download and print if they wanted to. But we also linked them to videos. And so again, the concept being keep it simple, keep it direct, and really, really make it something that they could do very easily without, moving a mountain. And so let's show this video. This is one of the links that went with the middle school organized student texting campaign. So with the organized student campaign, we reached several hundred middle school, sixth grade families at 3 of our Title I campuses. We really felt like it was super successful. We did a survey at the end, collected data, collected input, and then asked the parents, can we hang on to your text, your number and your information, and would you be interested, in our next periodic specific subject specific based texting campaign? And the answer resoundingly was yes. And so that was pretty exciting. So we've used texting, as you can see, at the elementary school and the middle school level. Another issue that we came to understand was how lost middle school families can feel. Because again, you go from elementary school where you've got one teacher and one principal, and all of a sudden there's 13 million people in your life, and who do you talk to, and who do you go to for this or that? And the concept for this next project started during the pandemic at one of our middle schools. The parent liaisons were asked to actually help reach out to families, kids who were not signing on. They were doing their schooling from home and they weren't signing on, and they were disappearing and they weren't turning in lessons. So there was a big effort to reach these parents. And so we did. We called them, and we just called every single one of them and just talked with them. What can we do to help you so that your kid logs on? And 9 out of 10 times, parent had to go to work, left in the morning with child sitting in front of their Chromebook or in front of their computer. Everything was signed on, and then as soon as mom or dad leaves for work, the kid's on YouTube or doing whatever kids do. So that's what was happening. So through talking to these parents and these long conversations, we realized parents didn't know where to turn for help. So again, using a simple Google platform website, we created Rangers to the Rescue. And Rangers are our mascot at one of our middle schools, at Deer Park Middle School. And so And this is designed as a one-stop shop. We asked parents to bookmark it on their phones, and it covers any question that we fielded, any question that a parent might have, especially a parent of a sixth grader, somebody who's new at middle school. And so as you can see, as we're scrolling down, there's online learning help. And of course, that was huge during the pandemic, trouble logging in, trouble with the Chromebook, whatever. How can I view my child's work? And all of these, every time you click on one of these buttons, it links you to a resource or who to call, who to email. And our goal as a campus was to answer these questions and these requests immediately. This became a priority. And the beautiful thing about this wasn't just parent liaison throwing this together. This was assistant principals, counselors, the instructional technology specialist. Everybody on campus had a role in this, even teachers. We had a COVID section. And of course, then we linked, at the bottom, there are links to the school website and the weekly newsletter. We even had a place at the bottom, as you can see, where people can type in a suggestion. I need to know this. Can you include this in it? I think probably two of my favorite things about this website are, on the next slide, please, the who do I call document. This is a one-pager, and I'm actually attending a 5th grade transition night at Deer Park tonight, and I have 600 copies of that the parents are going to get so that they can actually stick it on their fridge. And this is essentially an email and a phone number if I've got an absence, if my kid's been bullied, if I'm having trouble with my bus pass, anything that a parent, so that you don't have to sit there and click on the school website and scroll through and try to find the person, go to the directory. It's one stop at a glance for our families to make their lives easier. Another highlight that I really love on this website, and this was kind of a wonderful collaboration with the teachers, how do I reach out to my teacher? And what we did was we put together a, there it is right there, reaching out about an issue in my child's class. The teachers at the middle school level are all about teaching kids self-advocacy. Mom can't be there with you for all 8 classes, right? So within this little document here, which we find has been so helpful, we put the middle school directory. So you just click on it, you could find your teacher's email immediately. We put a little a reading, a student self-advocacy reading if parents really wanted to take a deeper dive into why it's important to let your child start speaking up for themselves and rallying for themselves when it comes to their grades and assignments and stuff. But then there's also some bullet points there, how to reach out to your child's teacher. And the cool thing about this was the teachers created that. This is what they wanted to hear when parents were reaching out. And so the goal was to lower the temperature a little bit, because usually a teacher is help is sought after when things are getting hot and heated and there's a failing grade or something, along that nature. So following this list it cools things a bit. It gives the teacher the information they need. And so it basically helps build the relationship and strengthens the relationship between the teacher and the family. And so we're really proud of that as well. So anyway, one-stop shop called Rangers to the Rescue, and that has been a pretty well-used site, and it's on the middle school website, and it's one of the first things parents can click on.
And it's called Rangers because the mascot for Deer Park.
Yeah, that's Rangers. Our mascot. Yes, we're the Rangers. Yes.
Very creative.
So the next one we have to show you, the next bit of technology, and I know we're throwing all sorts of ideas at you, but we're really excited about everything that we've been able to do, is how to be a math person. Came about literally from a conversation with an instructional coach, just sitting around, what are some of the issues that these kids coming back from being at home, trying to learn math on a Chromebook, what are some of the issues that these kids are facing? And the resounding opinion was that I can't do math, I'm bad at math, I'm not a math person. That comment that I think we've all heard from our own families, from our own kids, and when we've been around students, from students as well. So the whole concept of this was to try to strengthen a growth mindset in the area of math, especially for young ladies, especially for middle school aged women, ladies, girls. So we came up with how to be a math person. And this, again, was an amazing collaboration because we partnered with the math departments at our middle school campuses in creating a video. And okay, so you produce a video and you send it out there on the YouTube interweb space, and you wonder, yeah, you could see that there's been so many people who viewed it, but is it really making a difference? Is it really connecting? And so we worked with our teachers and we came up with the idea of using Edpuzzle, which is a platform that teachers use in their classrooms. And it's really kind of cool because we uploaded the video to Edpuzzle. And in Edpuzzle, you have the ability to, first of all, the kids or parents cannot fast forward through the video. And there are certain points in the video where you mark it and the video stops and a question pops up on the screen. So as you can see, and if we have time, we'll show you the video, but you can see here, this is a portion of the video. It stops here. And the question is, what are some things your family members do that take a lot of practice besides math? And so parents and children, students had to actually enter something before the video plays again. In partnering with our math departments, every single math teacher at our middle schools assigned this as homework. Now, I know schools are getting away from a lot of traditional homework, but when a teacher has an assignment and it's homework, the kids usually do it. And the result was this 2-minute video with these questions. And the design was that the students watch it at home with their parents, with their grandparents, with their aunts and uncles, with their brothers and sisters, and they answer the questions as a family. And so it brought in, again, that collaboration with the teachers. They were super excited about it. And then we collected all this amazing data and answers from the parents about, how can you shift your mindset when it comes to thinking about math? Because essentially, how do you become a math person? Well, number one, you have to be a person. And number two, you have to do math. It's that simple. Everyone's a math person. And so that was the message. And then at the very end, we gave the students a survey about how did their growth mindset change? Did they notice any difference with the way they were thinking? And there wasn't a lot of data in there, but it was just another pause, give them a chance to think about, I am a math person, I can do this. So do we have time, Sibyl, to show the video?
Yeah, let's watch the video.
All right.
I'm not a math person.
Does this sound familiar to you? It's very common for middle school students to believe they just aren't good at math.
A lot of people I think they don't even really give it a chance. They just think that they don't like numbers or that it's been hard in the past. And so they just don't want to give it a chance. And I think really all they need to do is just try.
Here's a little secret. There's no such thing as a math person. Our brains are wired to learn all sorts of things, including math. It just takes practice.
You get good at math just by the way you get good at anything. If you want to be a good artist, you are practicing. If you want to be a good basketball player, if you want to be a good reader, anything that you want to do and be good at, a good dancer, gymnast, all of those things take practice.
Parents play an important role in their child's ability to succeed in math. What we say to our children can limit their achievement and heighten their anxiety.
I hear all the time people say, well, I'm not good at math. And it's usually coming from adults. And they're saying, oh, I can't help my kid with that because I'm not good at math, or I wasn't good at math in school. Well, we really need to change that mindset, because if we tell ourselves that we can, then we will.
Math is all around us. We do it every day. Math transactions with money. We add or subtract time in our minds and figure out tips and sales tax. We can promote a positive math mindset every day too.
A growth mindset is really just telling yourself that you can do something. Understanding that where we are in life is not a fixed place, but that we can continue to grow in everything that we do. And one way that parents can model this is by having a growth mindset for themselves, having that positive self-talk, letting their children see that when they mess up, that there is a chance and an opportunity for them to remedy it and fix it and move on from that.
Math is sometimes challenging, but the fact remains, with a positive mindset, you can change the way you think and feel about math. For Deer Park Middle School, I'm Ann Grishop. So that was how to be a math person. So thank you so much for listening. Those are just some of the ways we are using technology in our school district, our Title I campuses, and of course, Sibyl, do you have anything else to add?
Thank you so much, Anne, for just sharing some of the amazing things that you've been doing with the team at our district. I just wanted to turn the time over to our audience. Are there any questions that you may have lingering that you have about our presentation, some of the ideas that we talked about? One thing that came to mind as y'all are typing in the chat questions and comments, we use Canva, canva.com, to produce many of our flyers, our presentation background. There is so many templates in there. That is a wonderful, wonderful resource. So I encourage you guys to look into it. They do have an educator, I believe, for nonprofits and educators. There's a discount, even free for teachers. So initially we started out using the free version, and then we were like, there's all these amazing things that you can use. And so it is paid by Title I funding, and it is allowable expense. So look into that. And then also Remind, Anne mentioned that we also use Title I funding to purchase that. And then there was a question earlier about how did you organize the grades in the school? I believe that's referring to Remind. Anne, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, I asked the registrar for a roster of the students. And so she gave me a roster with every single classroom, and I copied and pasted. And there's a way to do that in Remind where you can upload, I think, 17 or 15 names at a time, copied and pasted them in there in, Mrs. Padron's class. Mm-hmm. And there she has her class. And then everybody in the entire campus was populated into the trail guide. So through Remind, you can sign up for several different classes. So there are parents with multiple children on campus, and they get my trail guide texts, and they get text messages directly from their teachers too.
Awesome. Yes. There's another question I see asking about, do we have a team that creates the videos? How do you do them? We do have our district community relations is a resource. However, I want to encourage you that anyone can make a video, just like anyone can be a writer. Anne, would you go a little bit deeper about that?
Yes, before I became a teacher, I was a broadcast journalist. And so I've got a lot of experience with video editing and camera work and voice work. The cool thing about our team is they all wanted to learn and were excited to learn that. And so now we've got this team of 8 video editors. And so we use Canva to do a lot of the graphics. And what we're doing is once we design the template, the flyer, it stays the same throughout. So if we're doing a video in connection with how to be a math person, the graphics that we use are going to look exactly like. So there's an automatic visual tie-in. And it's a lot of marketing stuff, but it really helps connect with the families. And so, yes, iPads, MacBooks have very user-friendly editing systems. And, you can, a lot of people will send it off to their district and it looks super pro, but for these minute-long videos, 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, they're really doable. And, as long as you have a team looking at it, looking at the script, looking at the, multiple eyes looking at it, making sure the message, it works and you can do it easily.
Yes. And we also, the district, we did some training with our ITS team, and they recommended things like Screencastify is one that you can make videos on your computer. Of course, Zoom can make a video as well, but there's just a lot of different platforms out there that is available at your fingertips. There is that video editor software that comes with Windows that actually I use a lot for video editing, very simple things. And you can embed music, the captioning, and do some little bit of effects, and then it renders it and it's like, wow, there's a 2-minute video that I just did. So, and I don't have any background in broadcasting and reporting. And
Right.
video
Well, and I
editing.
think it's getting over the fear.
Mhm.
Once you do one, you're like, I got this. So
Yes. And I always tell people I'm a little bit tech savvy compared to most people. However, and the reason is I love my favorite little button on the computer is the undo. So you can do practically anything on the computer. Just undo it, like try it. You don't like it, undo it. It goes back. So don't be afraid to try new things.
there's a question, are captions required for all these videos?
Mhm.
Yes. When we put them into YouTube, we activate that.
Yes, and that was one thing we did a PD with our community relations to make sure we were in compliance with ADA, and then also on our website we had to make sure that things were in compliant with the ADA guidelines as well. So captioning and make sure that people who were who needed the print was available to them. Right. Well, thank you so much for giving us this time that we can share with you the things that we do here at Round Rock ISD. Like I said, we're not experts, we're just learning along with you, and we invite you to visit our website and stay connected. The next slide has our contact. If you have any further questions or you just feel like you want to bounce off ideas, I'd love to be a sounding board for folks. Sometimes you have an idea and you're not sure, you need somebody to talk to, there's my phone number and my email, and Ann as well. We're happy to support. We're all in this together. Together, working together for student success. Thank you.